Hello, boys and girls, Ultimate Hero here. Welcome to character analysis. These I'm doing in random order, no particular order. So, I say let's just cut to the chase and let's introduce our first character. This is one that I've analyzed before, so I feel like I should finish it up from where I left off. Well, not from where I left off. I'm going to start over again, but try to go in a bit more detail, because I'm not RPGing this time, so I don't have really much of a distraction, though let's hope none appear. Anyway, first character on the list is Kanji Tatsumi, or the Macho Beefcake Emperor, or is like the Japanese version, the Terrific Macho Emperor. But oh, that's his arena name, something like that. I kind of forgot it actually. Well, actually, I can go see it right here. I do have I'm using some. I gotta give some credit here. Well, I have to give credit to Megami Tensei for using a bit of his social link parts of his social link for reference. So credit to them right there. He's the blood-curdling Beefcake Emperor. Japanese version is, as I said, or a Terrific Macho Emperor, which I find funny. But anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna break these down. These categories may not exactly follow, and some characters will have certain special categories to themselves. But I'll get to them and I'll explain the ones that are unique to them. Okay, first off, we're going to begin with his personality. I'm going to describe what he's like, which I'm pretty sure you all should know, but just to give a bit of a refresher. Why he's given the arcana the Emperor, what parts of his personality makes him fall into this, basically. His shadow, which, you know, I'm going to talk about the shadow and some of the symbolism behind it. His social link, and there's not much to really say. By his social link, I'm only going to talk about specifically the revelation that happened, and I may have referenced a few other parts that happen in it, but I'm also going to talk about what this is his own exclusive one here. What I think his sexuality is. Basically, just whether I think he's gay, straight, or bi. Which, if you've seen the video, you might think there's no point, but I'm just going to go a little more detail here, hopefully. I say hopefully, and I mean it. And then finally, my final opinion on him. What I think of him. I mean, I will be mentioning parts of Golden. Well, if I don't want to, because, well, this is my Let's Play of Persona 4. I don't want to mention the parts that make him change more in Golden, because this might be a bit of a spoiler. But in Golden, they realize more of themselves beyond the social link, beyond the maxing out. Which I'll let you guys find that out for yourself. But anyway, let's go. Let's start. His personality. Kanji, to describe him in one sentence or 3 words: gentle but reckless. Or reckless but gentle, whichever one you want to see it as. Kanji, as you can just by looks alone, looks like a punk. He's a fighter. Yes, he is a fighter. His personality completely shows it. He ain't afraid to take a fight, especially if it's for those he cares for, like his mom. The whole reason he got the whole biker gang image was because he was pissed off seeing as how all the biker gangs were preventing his mom from getting some good sleep. Which is a kind gesture, as Dojima put, but it's not the right way to settle things. Anyway, why is he given the arcana of the Emperor? Well, the Emperor is somebody that is like the opposite of Empress. It symbolizes fatherhood, leadership, and the desire for power and to control one's surroundings. And some cases, it's trying too hard to achieve this, which exactly what Kanji was trying to do. Next up, his shadow. Now, what do they think of his shadow? Well, I won't get to opinions first. I will explain the shadow. We all already know Shadow Kanji. Definitely one of the more iconic shadows in the whole game. Well, let's just go straight into it. Bad bathhouse. Just a bathhouse is usually something that a lot of men go to. Almost, it's kind of like a sauna, obviously, but a little more different. I won't go into detail of the bathhouse itself, but let's go straight into the shadow. The shadows, Shadow Kanji, and then the nice guy and tough guy. Nice guy and tough guy are basically the typical portrayal of a homosexual couple. One is the masculine one, or the more leader one, and the other one's the more feminine one. Now, this also leads into Kanji's feminine traits, or what the society views as girlish traits. His liking of sewing because of his family's long-time tradition of having the textile shop. He likes to sew, and as a result, he likes cute things, which I think anybody can like cute things. It depends on what kind of cute it is. I mean, if I think something's cute, it's like, hey, it looks cute. I mean, I'm not talking about like saying a girl, like, okay, if we think a girl is cute, we'll say, hey, you look cute, or you look beautiful. Not like that. I'm talking about like, you know, in Kanji's case, you could think of like a little bunny, like a little rabbit or a cat. You know, cute animals. Things animals are cute, or other things are. You get my point. He was also often ridiculed, as stated by his shadow. He'd rather go sewing than go to, or he'd rather go to home ec than he would go to PE. You get like stuff like that, which I think his mom said something around those lines in his social link. Like, anyway, Shadow Kanji, you notice how he's holding two of the male symbols. That's also talk about homosexuality because of Naoto, because well, Naoto worded this wrong, I guess. He's like, I'm interested in you. Now, if somebody told us, be it a girl or a guy, said, I'm interested in you, that would well, in Japan, the Japanese version, I think they said, you're interesting to me. Now, that shouldn't be taken that way, because I know Saki told Yosuke that in Persona 4 The Magician. It's the spin-off manga showing when Yosuke arrived into Idaba. And, well, she said, you're interesting to me. Which, if we heard that, we take it the wrong way. We might. Or we take it as a way like, oh, she likes me. But Yosuke took it in that same way, however, she did not mean it that way. Well, Naoto did not mean it that way. However, Kanji took it in the ways like, he's a guy, and I'm a guy, and he's interested in me. And then because of that, the confusion went around in Kanji's head, and he started thinking, what if I'm not interested in girls? Because, well, he's, as his shadow said, he's afraid of girls. Because, well, in the end, it proved it wasn't just scared or, as better yet, I'll quote Kanji on this. It ain't a matter of guys or chicks. I'm just scared shitless of being rejected. Well, there's something I can relate to on Kanji. I honestly fear being rejected by people. And I mean, like, as a friend and whatnot, like what he's saying. Anyway. As for the others, and as you can notice, it's reverse emperor. Reverse emperor is one that is drunk off their power. The power basically controls them, which you see that in a lot of animes. Like, well, I'll let you think of those. I'll let you find out those. Which give you a hint. Some of them were on Adult Swim, really popular, by the way. But okay, well, I've pretty much tackled on most of the shadow. After you defeat the shadow, the shadow itself actually shows more of a determination to prove itself to be accepted for who he is. That was Kanji's goal. He wants to be accepted by people. But he was afraid of experiencing the pain, so he'd rather push people away. Yet deep inside, he still wanted to be accepted by people. And so he admitted to the shadow, though he kind of still did deny it a bit. He knew it was part of him, but he still couldn't believe it. Well, it's because, of course, the sexuality, but he still started to think, it did, of course, like I said earlier, led to him thinking, what if he's not interested in girls? Which, in my opinion, and as some evidence in the game will show, he is interested in girls somewhat. Just depends on who they are. Okay, next. Let's go into the other side, his social link. Okay, in this social link, you already know, the main problem in it was to help a boy, because the little boy, he doesn't get a name, so little boy loses a little doll that the girl, I forget the girl's name, that the girl gave him because the kid threw it in the water and it got lost in the river. Kanji agrees to make him a new one, and then you have to help push Kanji a little to admit that he's the one that made it, and he was afraid the kid would find him weird, but no, the kid was fine with it. And then eventually, the cops find out that he was like he was seen with a kid, but they took it based on his image as, were you bullying the kid? They assumed he was bullying the kid, and he threatened to take both they threatened to take you and Kanji to the station. However, the little boy comes along and says, no, he actually made a doll for me, and he's like, what? Kanji was afraid to admit it, but then he comes around and realizes, like, yeah, I did make it. What of it? You gonna laugh at me? That's fine. I'm used to being laughed at. He grows to accept it, and then through that he realizes, you know what? If I want to get accepted by people, I need to start by being myself. I shouldn't let people portray me as they see fit. I'm like, as he said, from now on, I'm gonna bust through as my own self. And that way, and then he eventually says, that other me in the TV world is me. And then he also realized when he went to his dad's grave, and then he realized what strength really is. Strength to Kanji is not about being strong, like physically strong, and telling people the rest to get bent. Get bent, get bent, get bent, get bent. Yeah, I had a quote at some point in this freaking character analysis. But he realized strength. Well, how do I word this? Well, what he admitted was, or how he said, a real man is a guy who does everything at 100%, giving it all you got as yourself, just like that, basically. Aside from that, then I already said he admitted that the other him is him, which now we have, or he did also realize, yes, he's going to be more comfortable with himself in terms of his hobbies. He was not afraid, especially at the end where he mentioned that Risei stopped by at the shop and said that, or showed her what he made, and she did find it weird at first, and eventually just kept showing her more. Normally he would have just gave up right there and said no. He was giving up on trying to show people who he was, or showing people how he was. Like right there, he would have gave up, and then the people probably wouldn't like him after that. Which that was the problem. He didn't try with all he did, and at this time he did. And then Risei said, you know, you're not such a weird guy after all. I mean, it did sound bad the way she said it, but the subtext behind it was what mattered, which he realized. Which, as what I just said earlier, he said he needs to start being fine with who he is, and that if he really wants people to accept him, he should bust on through as his self, not as someone he's not. Now then, this part right here. Now, right here, this is where I'm going to have a bit of controversy. Well, probably by people who think he's gay. What I think a sexuality is. Kanji, to me, I think he's straight. I don't think he's gay. The shadow was basically, in my opinion, as a result of his confusion. But before I go on, let me make a note here. As I've said in the video, one of the Heaven videos, Atlas did get asked this. What is Kanji's sexuality? What they said, because they know no matter what they said, there'd be controversy from either the people who think he's straight, or people who think he's bi, or people who think he's gay. Because, as I've said in there, you can practically counteract even my own arguments, and I can probably counteract yours to the point where they just like freaking cancel each other out. It doesn't matter, no matter what you think. It's really personal opinion. Or that kind of sounded bad, but you get what I mean. Basically, you can counteract each other to the point where they just completely cross each other out. So it doesn't matter, in one sense. Anyway, what Atlas said was, whatever you think he is, it's up to the player. You can't choose what he can be, but just your opinion of it. It's just whatever you think he is, which was a smart way of getting out of it. Because they saved themselves from some controversy. Because Atlas, some clever motherfuckers. Trust me. Anyway, I think he's straight. I don't think he's gay. As I said, it's just a result. The shadow itself is a result of being confused from what Naoto said. But then now he sees Naoto as a girl, and if he was really gay, he wouldn't have gone for her, even though he found out he's a girl. Honestly, I think he just, like as he said, he likes a mysterious person, or some cases really, like a more masculine woman. And by that I mean that does some more what the society would consider more masculine trait. Like I said, like Naoto because of her somewhat masculine looks and her more leader-like personality. I wouldn't say leader, but you know what I mean. And of course, does have a little affection towards Chie. He does think she's cute because of her personality, and as I said, because she's a tomboy, and just on how she acts. And well, I can tell you he doesn't look interested at all in Yukiko, which fine by me in my OTP, fine by me. Less of a person to deal with. Anyway, as for so he, I mean, at the freaking culture festival, he says, Yukiko senpai is exactly as I thought she'd be, something around those lines. like he wasn't really impressed by her at all. But then he sees Chie, oh, she's cute. And then Naoto, which he failed to see, though in the anime he kind of sees, and he gets a nosebleed, which is pretty hilarious. But he thinks those two are really cute. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I just think he just really likes. I just think he's straight, to put it bluntly. Though you can counteract what I said with many things, just how he... Okay, this one, I think I can even counteract this argument. Some people say, oh, doesn't he... He looks like he has a big interest in main character. Now, to put it that way, if you look at Arena, people will strongly go at that especially. They use that against this argument. And all I have to say is this. You're taking it in a more literal sense. Honestly, I think he more admires... well, I'm going to have to go with you here. He admires Narukami. He admires the type of character he is for like showing all this leadership. He's not really showing. He knows what basically he sees them as he's being a true man right here, doing everything he can at 100%, and doing what he can to protect those closest to him. That's exactly the image Kanji wishes to live up to. Well, that kind of contradicts everything in one sense, but you know what I mean by that. He's basically saying, I want to be like that. That's his goal. He wants to be able to protect the people closest to him. He even wants to go as far as to protect Narukami. Which, that's a great goal. Honestly, that's a great view. He wants to use this power he's got, this strength that he has, as a way to protect those he cares for, like his mom, Narukami, and all of his friends. And that's why, and now this leads to my final opinion of Kanji. You all know, I think Yosuke is my favorite character, right? Because I relate to him a lot. Well, as I played through Arena, well, I didn't play through Arena. I only watched the Kanji story, and everybody's story, obviously. And I played Golden. My opinion of Kanji just, honestly, it rose. I mean, the jokes they make on him is funny, and at times it just gets, oh, really? But honestly, guys, Kanji, out of all the characters, I think he's got the most respect. I give him the most respect out of any character. Yosuke can get out of hand sometimes. It's like, honestly, Yosuke, you kind of brought it on yourself, dude. I'm not a big fan of Chie. Yukiko's the waifu, but she's in her own category. Teddy, he's humorous, and he does have some great character development when you need it. Naoto, I'm not too big of a fan of, but her character development is really good too. I like her character development. Rise, I like how she's completely nothing like the image society gives her, and that's really good. She's trying to live up to be good for herself, and that's what should matter. Sounds a bit selfish, but you can't really start working for other people when you can't work on yourself. At least that's kind of my philosophy on that. A little nutshell version. But Kanji, I just give him the most respect because he wants to be strong for other people, and that's a really good goal in my opinion. To live up to live for other people, and for those you care for, I should say. He wants to protect his mom, and he's bad at showing how much he cares for her, but he does care for her. And he does care for the whole team. He's even said he's willing to put his life on the line for everybody, and I give him credit for that. I mean, it's hard for anybody, not just Kanji. It's hard for anybody to admit to what they're weak to, just their own flaws. Even myself. I will admit, I feel I have faced my darker self, but you know what? I feel it's crawling back to fight me again. As I've said many times, and I'll quote it perhaps in every video here, the strongest person you're ever going to fight in your life, and you're fighting this person right now, is yourself. You fight this person every day. It's a never-ending battle. It's an unavoidable battle. And you know, I just like how Kanji fights himself. It's not rejecting it anymore. He's accepted his darker side. He accepted it and welcomed it. And by doing that, he used that darker side to his own use. He used the hobbies, and look at where it's getting him. He's getting more accepted by people. People are more interested to the point where they want to take classes, like they want to learn what his skills are, and that's really good. Because he's decided, you know, I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna stop giving up. I'm gonna try this time and try till I can't try no more. And because of that, people are starting to accept him. And honestly, I give Kanji the biggest credit for that. A big applause to Kanji right there. I mean, not to say the other characters don't deserve an applause in their own right, but honestly, to me, I can relate to Kanji because I fear being accepted by people. I gave up on people, and honestly, I still do sometimes. But you know, I have to keep telling myself, why should I keep giving up? I'll never know if they could have been my next best friend or not, or they could have been they could have been the next big enemy. But I wouldn't know until I actually tried. But why give up? What? Because it's the easy way out? No, I don't want the easy way out. I'm gonna work my way to get the best out of my life. That's what I've realized, thanks to Kanji. And you know what? Kanji, you are definitely one of my favorite characters of any video game. Not just from Persona 4, but just of any video game. He has definitely, in my opinion, earned one of the slots in one of my favorite characters. Of course, my most favorite will always be Narukami, or Soji, whichever you call the main character. But I mean, I won't count it for but among the personalities, Kanji definitely has one of my most favorite. Of course, I gotta say Yosuke as well, because I just love the humor, but again, it gets out of hand. Just Kanji. Just when he gets serious, that's when it matters. And of course, I cannot forget the warrior poet. Remember, this ain't the time for bitching and moaning. You just gotta keep on keeping on. Kanji is just, when he needs to be serious, he doesn't just be serious, he just becomes badass. And that's why I freaking think Kanji is one of the most interesting characters, which it always saddens me when I hear people say they dislike Kanji. He's like, you're not giving him a chance. You're no better than how he was back in the day when he was giving up on people. You're giving up on him. I mean, even if you've heard about his personality and still don't like him, I respect that. At least you gave him the fair chance. Because honestly, I feel if you're an actual character, like a real person, he would give you that chance too. He wants people to get to know him, and that's how I feel too. I want people to get to know me. I mean, that's why I do Let's Plays, and because of that, I got to meet some great people because I didn't give up. And there were times, and still times today, where I want to give up my Let's Playing, but you know what? I keep trying, and because of that, I keep meeting all these great people. Be it my close friends, or even you as viewers. I'm glad to have met you all right now, and yeah, that's why I've also learned from Kanji. But that's my final opinion of him. Just in a nutshell, Kanji, one of the most respected video game characters ever in my opinion. Definitely one of them, hands down. I love his personality. He's freaking humorous, and you know, and let's just say, if he gets with Naoto, or hell, sometimes I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm saving the shipping for another video, but just gonna give you a taste right here. I can ship Kanji with Naoto, but I can also ship Kanji with Rise. Whichever girl he gets with, or hell, if he does get with a guy, whoever he gets with, it doesn't matter. Whoever he gets with, I can guarantee that other person that they'd be well protected with him, because I know he would do his best to protect them, or to protect them. In fact, be it not just as like a person, an intimate person, just as a friend, or a family member. As you've seen, he's willing to protect them with all he's got. But anyway, this is a good note to end it on. This has been Character Analysis. The character today was Kanji. Next time, which I don't know when the next part will be going up, we're going to go after somebody else. The one I'm thinking that might be next in line is either Chie or Naoto, or possibly the Dojimas. I'll be analyzing both of them as in a whole part instead. Anyway, that's going to be it. If you have any other questions that you want me to answer about Kanji, feel free to leave them in the comments, or you could PM me them, and I'll answer them the best that I can. Mind you, these are opinions. Again, I give some credit to Megami Tensei Wiki for giving me using their social link, or looking back at the social link and of the Emperor Arcana, and of course for the walkthroughs. But that'll be credited on the end of the Let's Play. Anyway, that'll be it. And till next video, stay gold and be strong. See you guys next video.